All right, everyone. This is gonna be a tough one for me because we're going to be discussing Sadie today by Courtney Summers. Let me just tell you that when I finished reading this book, I was just kind of heartbroken. This is a 5-star book. Let me start by saying that this is a 5-star book, hands down. I'm not surprised it won the Edgar Award for young readers, and I'm not surprised it made the New York Times bestseller list. However, this is not a book for the faint of hearts. Content warnings and things that will be mentioned in this review, so I want to let you guys know that now so that you know what's coming. It does allude to child abuse, child molestation, drug abuse, and those first two have always been like really tough. I think those are just two tough topics for all children, or for everyone, because children are just so absolutely innocent, and I see the innocence even more now because I'm a mom. So when I was reading this book, I'm just like, oh my god, like it's heartbreaking. It really is just heartbreaking. And the book follows Sadie. Her 13-year-old sister was murdered, amongst other things. They don't talk about it, but you know exactly what happened to her sister. It's just, oh God, it's such a hard book to review because I don't want to spoil anything, but it's just written in such a way that is incredibly addictive. You're reading the book and it's going between two different perspectives. So you're following Sadie as she's hunting for Keith. Keith, who was her mother's boyfriend when she was a child. Keith, who is a monster. He is a monster. She is looking for Keith because she knows that Keith murdered her sister. She knows. And then you're also following this podcast. It's called The Girls. Wes McCrae is host of the podcast, and he is looking for Sadie. He was first brought to her story because he used to do a different segment, and now he's like, okay, let me see if I can find this girl. And through his investigation, he is discovering the kind of monster that Keith is. And oh God, this book just made me want to scream sometimes, because every time someone's like, oh yeah, Keith is a great guy, you're just like, no, Keith is a monster. And if you don't see that, God, I wish I could be so angry at them for not seeing it, because that's how they get away with it for so long. They are wolves in sheep's clothing, and it's just disgusting that is part of reality. But I think what's important about this book is it's giving you a lot of indicators for you to be able to see and look for, not just as a parent or as a young girl or as a young person. Oh God, this book made me feel so many things. I was emotionally frustrated when I was reading it. I was emotionally devastated when I got to the end. I needed to put the book down when I was done just to absorb everything. And I reread that ending 3 times because I was just like, no, like no. It's just such a moving story. It rips out your heart, really. It does rip your heart out, and you see the love that Sadie has for her sister. The things she's had to overcome, like her stutter that she's learned to live with, and then the fact that she had to overcome some of the monstrosities inflicted upon her by Keith, and then the emotion, like the voice, the tone, just Sadie pushing through because she needs to get rid of this monster. She needs, in part, to redeem herself because she does feel guilty for her sister's death, and she needs to put her sister's spirit at peace and kill this monster who took her from this world. It's just, oh God, this book. It's not for the faint of heart. Definitely not. I do think this is a book that, for young readers, a book that should be read with a parent, a book that should be read with a teacher. I think it opens up a lot of discussion, and I think it makes it okay to be like, you can talk about these things. Because a lot of part of the reason why monsters like him get away with it is because they don't feel comfortable talking about it, you know? And that is so sad and so real. And I think this book allows you, it opens up that discussion, you know? Not only does it open up your eyes to see who a monster is, but it also opens up that pathway to discussion so that the cycle doesn't keep repeating. And oh God, I think I'm just going to stop here. I don't think I can keep going with this review. I think I've said everything I need to say. I think this is a phenomenal book. I'm not surprised it's an award winner. I'm not surprised it's still, you know, a bestseller. I have to warn you, it is not for the faint of heart. It's not explicit in any way, but just the emotional impact of the novel is just, like I said, I had to reread that ending 3 times because I was just not, I'm still not over it. I don't think I'll ever be over this book. This is a book that is going to stick with me for the rest of my life, and that's good. I think that's a good thing. So yes, 5 out of 5 stars. Highly recommend purchasing this book. Highly recommend this book for book club discussion, for class reading. Definitely recommend. For class reading for high schoolers, let me state that. I definitely recommend this book for parents. Please read this book. It's phenomenal, but it is emotional. 5 out of 5 stars. Thank you all for tuning in. Please don't forget to like this podcast and subscribe to the channel. I will include links on where you can purchase the book and other ways you can support me in the description of the podcast. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day, and as always, happy reading.